Okay, we're going to get started now. Thanks everybody for joining. It's pretty exciting here. We're finishing up our second full week of summer camp, and things have been going very well despite the rainy weather that we've had. I'm Becky Spencer, and I have been involved with store camps. I've been in charge here since 2014, but been involved for a lifetime. So, and a 40-year career with the YMCA. I'm hoping that all the staff that are joining us tonight are on. I'd like to introduce them. Derek Bycraft, who many of you have been working, there you are, Derek. You know him through our new Campminder registration system and have had a few questions. He's going to be monitoring our chat room tonight, and he's going to be helping to answer some questions or provide links as well as your questions come up. So if you have anything you'd like to ask for the entire group, please go ahead and type that in there, and Derek can answer immediately. If it's personal things, questions like what time or what session is my child registered for, send us an email at ymcastorecamps.org, and we can get back with you or give the office a call. Nancy Berger, are you on? Where's Nancy?
She actually just took a call that was coming in right now, so she's on the other line.
All right, thank you. So Nancy Berger is our Senior Program Director, and she'll be talking a little bit later. And Abimbola Fajobi is here. He's the YMCA's Director of Christian Missions, but he's also our Summer Camp Director this year. And he worked here for more than 2 decades, and we're very fortunate to have his experience and his actually ability to make magic happen here for kids. And also we have Betsy Partoyan joining us. She is an alumni that will be joining us session 2 as a cabin counselor. And we're very excited about that because we're operating with minimal staffing right now. You've heard all over the country how employers are having difficulty filling positions, and we're not immune to that. So we've reached out to some of our experienced alumni with great passion and skill that will be working here at camp in the last couple of weeks. So just as a summary for our meeting today, we're going to go over a lot of information about our mitigation practices, what to pack, our food services, how check-in and check-out are going to run, how we do mail here at camp. And there's just a couple things before we dive into the agenda I'd like to share. And one of them is that we have a lot of detailed information on our website where we have a parent handbook under resources in the tabs that run across the top. So there's like a packing list in there. There's what a daily schedule kind of looks like. It changes due to the weather sometimes, and any questions you might have. Check-in is on Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. and checkout is on Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. We'll get into more details on that in a little bit, but some of you are like, I need those dates and times. The biggest question coming our way right now is, do kids still need to wear masks? Because the governor has opened all of that up for all the businesses in our state. And we are still following all the mitigation practices to reduce the exposure of COVID here at camp. I attended a meeting last Thursday with the CDC and the American Camping Association, and it's being highly recommended that because of this new variant and that we have so many children and staff in our programs that aren't vaccinated yet, that we just continue to follow all the mitigation practices that we put in place. So masking will be happening, but not all the time. When the kids are with their cohort groups and when they're outdoors in their outdoors with their cohort group, they're not wearing masks at all. In pictures, you might see them wearing masks just because they're used to it and it's something they're doing. But in cabins, in buildings here at camp, when they're just with their program group, no masking. When they're outdoors, no masking. But we are asking them to mask when they're near other cabin groups doing activities with them. So at this point, We'll get more into some of those other regulations later, but I know that was probably the biggest question. I'm going to ask Abimbola to talk about some of the fun program activities that are going on this summer.
So I'm actually going to step in for Abimbola. He is actually out in the kingdom, as he would put it, with our kids right now. He is from the UK, so he does like to call camp his kingdom in honor of the Queen. But some of those fun activities that we're doing here at camp are the activities that you would think of at any time here at summer camp. So our kids who are signed up for our adventurers, rangers, pioneer, explorers, or trailblazer program all get a chance to go horseback riding during their stay here at camp. Our ranch campers obviously get that experience as well. For our Pathfinder and Outbackers, they may not be going to our horse barn to get on the horses for rides, but we've still got some pretty exciting activities that are planned for them. And I know we'll be getting into a little bit of that because I'm sure there's some questions with Outback programming. Some of the programs, though, like I said, that are staples: horseback riding, tower climbing, archery, arts and crafts, gaga ball with their cabins or with their cohorts. We're also incorporating some fun things, such as our swamp stomps are back this year. We just had two of our pioneer cabin boys go through the nice mucky swamp today, get a little dirty and get a nice little shower right before lunch. So a lot of the staple things that you would think of here at camp for just general activities are still happening. Plus, we're still having campfires. We're still having devotions. We're having our chapel or our thought for the day. So not only are we getting those fun activities in, but we're getting some of the reflective activities and the self-observation activities that you would expect during an experience here at YMCA Storer Camps.
Thanks, Derek. I want to tell you all that the kids are having a blast. They're enjoying being together more than anything. When I talk to campers about what they like about being here, and the groups are saying, I just like talking to the other kids. And so that's been wonderful. And carpet ball has been resurfaced as well. And there's just so many great things they're doing. So we'll get to our COVID mitigations right now, and then move on to another topic. So we are still asking that parents get that you all get your campers tested before you come to camp, 1 to 3 days out. It could be an antigen test. It could be a PCR test. If you want to sign up for a test here right before check-in, you can do that as well. We've done that for each check-in that we've had, and it's gone pretty smoothly. And there'll be a sign up that Derek, is it up yet, Derek, the sign up?
It is not up. It will be up tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, so if you'd like to do one here at a different part of camp before you go into check-in, you're welcome to do that too. It's important that we keep doing this. There's a camp in Illinois that just had 85 COVID diagnosis. And I have a friend that runs a camp in Tennessee who had to close half of her camp down because of COVID. So we're doing everything we can to keep kids safe and so they can have a good time. Other things we're doing is we have smaller camper groups. And so the groups are not as large, but we are joining some groups with other cabin groups for activities when they're outdoors. And so they're not always just with their cabin, but there's times with they are with other groups, and they are with a larger group as well. We're asking for masking. I just wear mine on my name badge, and sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off, depending on the situation. And everybody's been doing really well with that as well. Absolutely no masking when they're in their cabin, when they are showering, when they are swimming, when they are on a boat. Those are really obvious times when they won't be masking, but it's really when they're around other groups of kids or indoors with other groups. At check-in, we're going to continue to do health screening. So 14 days out, please be watching your children that they're healthy. We did have one parent call the night before our last check-in and said, my daughter's coughing and has a fever and I have to cancel. So that was really kind of sad, but she was keeping an eye on her daughter's health. We're doing split cabin, split camps, meals at Malachi. So the youth campers are eating at a different time than the older kids as well. And pretty much that's it for our COVID mitigations. I'm probably missing something really big. It's all just become part of our routine. The only part that's different is the COVID testing, different from last summer is the COVID testing and reduced masking around here. Derek, is Nancy ready to talk about meals?
Looks like she is still on that long phone call.
No, I'm good. They're
Oh.
listening because they're still having technical difficulties, but I've got the phone, so they're listening in.
Perfect.
Okay, Nancy's going to talk about meal times and medication distribution.
Yep, thank you. And I see there's a couple of folks here that are going to be coming in Sunday for family camp. So all of this will be the same as far as how we're running our meals this summer. So first thing is, if you've already sent in your health form, or if you haven't sent in a health form, or if you haven't let us know of any special dietary needs, no matter what program you're in or when you're coming this summer, that is going to be super helpful for our kitchen staff to be prepared to know how, if your child has like gluten allergy, dairy allergies, soy, whatever allergies that pertains to the kitchen. That's something that'll be really important so that we can be prepared and provide them something to eat while they're here at camp. Then as far as how our meals run, if your child was at camp last year, even before they come into Malachi dining hall, at the 3 entrances that we have on the outside, we actually have set up sinks outside and a hand washing station so that the kids are actually, every person that enters the dining hall is actually washing their hands before they even enter the dining hall. So that way we know they've washed their hands. And then like Becky said, we have 2 meals. So we actually serve 6 meals a day. For summer overnight camp, we serve 6 meals a day. The youth campers eat first, 7:30, 11:15, and 5:15. And the teen campers eat second, which would be 8:30, 6. I'm trying to think of what the middle time is. It must be like noon-ish. I think it's noon or 12:15 is when the teens eat. So the kitchen staff are actually cooking 6 meals a day, preparing 6 meals a day for all of our campers right now. And when the campers come in the dining hall, they actually sit as a cabin group at their tables. And then a couple things that are different, so that we are, again, it's all precautions set forth by the state of Michigan and camp licensing, their recommendations in American Camp Association. The adult or the counselor at their table is the person that goes up to the kitchen, and it's modified family style is what we're calling it this year. And they go and get the tray of food for their table. And then that adult is the person that is actually serving all of the kids so that the kids everybody's not touching the serving utensils. So there's plating the food right at their tables. Last year we did cafeteria style, and this year we're going back to family style with some modifications. If kids want seconds, if they want peanut butter and jelly, if they want milk, we're doing everything. The counselor is the person that is the runner for the table. If they need a refill on water pitcher, all of that is done by the adult at the table. And then we're also doing more individual serving. So instead of a juice machine and our milk machine, we have individual milk at all 3 meals. We have juice at breakfast. And then like apple juice and orange juice in individual containers. And then for those of you that have been around for a while, we've gone back to Zippy as it's like a fruit flavored drink, sometimes lemonade, sometimes orange flavored, sometimes cherry flavored. That's in addition to, everybody has water before they start at every meal, but in addition to water at lunch and dinner, they also have the option of having Zippy as well. And then we also have white milk and chocolate milk, and again, in individual containers or serving sizes at lunch and dinner as well. I think if there's anything else, counselors. Oh, and once Becky talked about mask wearing, the where our staff and our kids are wearing their masks, except if they're actively sitting at their tables and eating meals, then obviously they can have their mask off. And again, because the counselors and the staff are the ones serving the food, the kids, unless the child has individual dietary needs or special allergies, The adults are really the only ones moving around the dining hall once everybody is seated. And then if a child, like I said, has individual dietary needs, they could individually talk to the kitchen staff. Then at the end of the meal, because the precaution is having everybody touching everything before they eat, that part we then turn over to 2 campers at every table get to help with cleanup. So that part they still get to do. They just aren't doing all the serving and running back and forth. And then also, if you've been at camp previously, our salad bar, just like out in restaurants, salad bars are not, we aren't allowed to have our salad bars. So everything is coming directly from the kitchen. Okay.
Looking to see if
Yes.
there's any questions.
I see the one that says, my child forgot to put that she's a vegetarian, that you went logged in and add on. Yep, that's great, because then what happens is our health officer can, with our new Camp Minder program, our health officer makes a list for the kitchen staff, what the camper's name is, what cabin they're in, and then also, or village, and then also what their dietary needs or food allergies are. So yep, it's actually posted right in the kitchen. I've seen it in there. So it makes it really easy for our cook to know who's got allergies, whether it's snacks or meals or things like that.
So I see a few questions. Our dining hall is called Malachi, and it seats officially 424 people. We will not have any more than like 140 in there at a time. The ceilings are gigantic. If we ever want to change any signage that we have hanging up from high, we have to get scaffolding. So the ventilation is really incredible. The building's air conditioned. It's got vents way up high, and the air circulation is very good in there. And there's tons and tons and tons of space. And there's a question about our cabin capacities. We have reduced our cabin capacities, yes. And it just, the state is requiring 6 square feet per camper, but we far exceed that, square footage. So those are some of the questions there. Derek, you want to talk about check-in and check-out?
Oh, of course, my favorite day of the week of check-in. Checkout's not quite as fun because we have to see the campers go, but always excited to be able to see the campers on our check-in days. If your camper is signed up for a 1 or a 2-week program, so if they are a Ranger, Pioneer, Explorer, Trailblazer, Pathfinder, Outbacker, or a ranch camper, their check-in will take place on Sunday. Now, it may be Sunday, July 11th if you are for session 2 or 2A, Sunday, July 18th if you are 2B, Sunday, July 25th if you are 3 or 3A, or Sunday, August 1st if you are session 3B. Now, if you are an adventurer parent, some of those check-ins are the same, some of them are different. So if you're an adventurer who's coming for 3C, that is Sunday, July 11th. If you're coming for 3D, that is Wednesday, July 14th. If you are coming for 3A, that is Sunday, July 25th. And if you are coming for 3B, that is Wednesday, July 28th. That is a lot of information. All of those dates can be found right on our website for your session start date. So if you have any questions there, you can check that. But anytime you are checking in, it is going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. up at Malachi Dining Hall on your check-in day. So it doesn't matter what program your camper is in. If you're like, I used to always check in down at Frontier, I know where I'm going. Not this year. Everyone is going to be checking in at the same place, which is Malachi Dining Hall. That's located on the north side of our camp. The address is 6701 North Stony Lake Road. But what I really suggest is if you need directions, go into Google Maps and search YMCA Malachi Dining Hall. That'll give you a much more accurate location of our dining hall and how to be able to get there. Now, when you arrive for check-in, we are going to be making sure that all of your forms are up to date and complete. So you'll actually be getting some reminder emails here coming up if you have any of your forms that are missing for your camper. All of the forms this year can be completed right on your Camp Minder account through the Forms and Documents section. So if you log right on, the second tab that you see is Forms and Documents. You can go right on there and you'll be able to see a bunch of different forms. The ones that are for sure required are the health history forms, the COVID participation waiver, and the camper release form. All of those have a required date on them. Some of them might say they're overdue, especially if you're coming here in just 2 weeks. So make sure you get those in. There's also other forms on there, such as the special concerns form. If there's anything that our camp staff should know, such as maybe your camper has a little bit of anxiety, or maybe they're a bedwetter, or maybe we just know that your camper really, really enjoys being able to have peace and quiet during rest time. That'll be able to help us out, serve your camper just a little bit better while they are here. But there's other forms on there too that you only need to fill out if they apply to your camper. For example, there's the additional anaphylaxis form. If your child doesn't have an allergy that causes anaphylaxis, don't worry about filling that form out. You just need to fill that out if it applies to them. Again, I know this is a lot of information thrown at you about forms. We will be sending reminder emails and maybe even giving some calls to our families if that paperwork is not turned in prior to your arrival here at camp. Once you arrive though, please just only have one adult for your camper when arriving. We're asking that it's not mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and uncle there to see them off at check-in. It is just one adult. And we ask that be one adult per family unit. I had someone ask me the other day, since they're sending 3 kids, can mom, dad, and grandma come as their one adult? We are just asking that it's one adult per camper family unit that comes for check-in. When you arrive, we ask that you bring all of your luggage into Malachi Dining Hall. You'll be able to see Nancy, myself, Lindsay, and some of the other staff assist you with check-in. Make sure all of your paperwork is in. We'll also be doing a quick health screening of you, taking a forehead temperature scan or maybe on your wrist, whichever one works a little bit easiest for us, as well as just a quick screening questions of have you been exposed to COVID-19 recently, how are you feeling, and so forth. Once you are fully checked in, you will be able to check in any medications you may have with our health officer. We'll have a quick head check, or what we call our lice checks, before sending your camper to our staff. Once you have fully completed the check-in process, we will ask you to give those sweet, tearful goodbyes to your camper as you depart from camp, and we will have our staff walk our campers down to their lodges. I know prior to 2020, we had parents able to walk campers down, but just like last year, we're having our staff walk the campers down to their cabins, just so that way there are fewer contact points with our campers and our non-campers on property. So once you complete the check-in process, you will just drop your camper off with our staff and they will walk them down to our campers. Also available at check-in, just so you know, making sure I'm going down my list here, we do have summer 2021 specialty t-shirts available for $10. This will be at both check-in and check-out, but those shirts, $10 can be paid in cash, check, or card. We prefer cash if possible, but we take those other forms as of payment as well. Really quick, another thing I talked about was that there is a medication table. When you're bringing those medications, as Nancy was saying, we do have a medication distribution. So make sure they're not packed in your camper's luggage, but they're just in a little baggie that you can turn in to our health officer in that original prescription bottle. If it's over the counter, make sure it comes in the original packaging. So right here, there's some ibuprofen. It would have to come exactly like this. You couldn't just put ibuprofen tablets in a little baggie and say that's the medication. It has to be the actual label. But don't worry, we have simple things like ibuprofen available. For checkout, that is going to be either on the Friday that ends your camper session. If you're an adventurer, that may be on Tuesday, but whatever day your camper session ends, checkout will be from 1 to 2 o'clock at Malachi Dining Hall. This will be a drive-through checkout model. So you actually will not need to get out of your car at all. You actually just drive right up through our driveway. A staff member will meet you, and whoever is picking up your camper needs to have a photo ID with them. If they don't have a photo ID with them, we can't check with that release form that the person who's there to pick them up is actually authorized to do so. So make sure that person who's picking them up has an ID. The best thing to use for an ID is your driver's license, which I hope you have, because if you're driving here to camp to pick up your camper without a driver's license, you're breaking the law, and that's not good. So make sure you bring that driver's license so we can check that all off. I see a bunch of questions coming up here in the chat through a lot of that. Just making sure folks know, there is a recommended packing list of items to bring for check-in. You can actually find that in the parent guidebook, which is under the resources and downloads tab of our website. So that's going to have everything you need to be able to pack in there. Folks were asking if the south side of camp will be used this year. That's actually where we're housing our day camp for this summer. So we will be having Southside in operation for a few weeks. For sessions 2 and 3, we won't have our day camp over there. We may have a secret activity or two over there for some of our oldest campers, but primarily we are just going to be focused here on our north side. Deanne, I see you're just confirming check-in is from 2 to 4 p.m. Jessica is also asking if temperatures will be checked every day, and yes, they will. Not only will we have our health screening at check-in, but we will have a health screening before breakfast and dinner each day with our campers as well. I see Jesse also asking if the Trailblazers will be in their own village. Yes and no. Trailblazers might think that their village area is always the Frontier Lodge area. They will not be over in the Frontier area, as that's where our Pathfinder and Outback campers will be at. But our Trailblazers will be in what is usually known as the Explorer area. So they will still have their own village area, very similar to the Frontier, just in a different spot of camp. But they'll be in the rustic cabins. They have their own bathrooms, basketball courts, access to the lake, and so forth. I also see if a parent is fully vaccinated, why are they not able to walk to their cabin to get them settled? This mostly goes from just trying to be fair to all folks. It's a universal policy that we're putting in place for all of our campers and guests this summer. We don't want to make anyone feel alienated because they aren't vaccinated, because we know that there are reasons folks cannot get vaccinated or choose not to be vaccinated. So we want to make sure we're being fair to everyone. So we're just saying that the universal policy for masking, for any kind of COVID mitigation policy, is if it applies to one person, it just applies to everyone. We also had a question about they, them pronouns. We try to serve our campers as best as possible, meeting all of their psychosocial needs. And if there are any cases where a camper feels that they would rather be referred to as a they, them, or a different pronoun, we are trained with our staff to be able to address that, but we do not try to make it a big grand glorious thing that everyone would know about. We just try to do our best to make sure our campers feel as comfortable as they can while they are here. And with that, I think I will probably turn it over to Becky.
Okay, I've got Abimbola here. He made it in, and I'll let him close out our meeting. I see that there's a mask policy question. Yes, we are masking when children are with other groups and when they're indoors with other groups and outdoors and they can't distance, but they will not be masking when they're swimming, showering, eating, or with their cabin group. They will not be masked then. So we just carry them around and put them on when it's time. And then next, I wanted to address, and thank you, Derek, you did a nice job on everything. The camper mail has been a little difficult this year. Children are coming and not really ready to send out mail. So they need to know where a stamp belongs on the upper right-hand part of the envelope, how to do an address properly, or maybe just send some address envelopes with stamps already on them if you'd like them to send letters. We have put up a little little like tutorial in the cabins on how to address letters and where the stamp goes. But anything you could do on your end might help as well. We will accept emails that you can send here and we will get them delivered to the camper. Campers can also send email-ograms, is what we call them, to you, where we have sheets of paper that they can use and write letters to you, tell you what they're doing, what's going on. Usually they're saying, please send me a care package. But if you want your children to send you emailograms, please make sure they have the proper emails to send them to. If they don't, we will look them up, but we can do it more quickly. Sometimes some will sit for a day and you won't get them as quickly because we've got to look them up in the CampMinder program for you. On packages, mail, everything. If you want to send things to your children, I highly recommend that you drop them off at check-in. And we just have, so many of the kids are just here for a week, and we have a distribution system where we can deliver it. If you write on the note or the package what day you want it delivered, we can do it that day, that particular day. So just indicate that on the mail, and we have a nice little post office set up where we are sorting mail and delivering it by the day that people want it. So the kids love to hear from you. And if they write to you in an emailogram that they're homesick, please encourage them to try new things and have fun. They are being kept very busy and having a good time. I will say children, and I don't know if this is a result of our shutdown that our country has had this last year, but they're having a harder time falling asleep at night. And so anything you can, if there's a book they can read, or just talk to them about we're doing a lot of body scans where you just relax and listen to the sounds, and playing soft music at night sometimes. So anyway, that's just something that we've noticed is a difference with the kids. Usually they're wiped out and ready for bed at bedtime, but it's not happening with all of them this year. And we're doing our best to make sure they get the rest they need so they can have a good time. Derek, do you have questions there to answer?
Yeah, I see one question of for adventurers, should we just deliver packages at check-in? Which I would strongly suggest, even not adventurers, just all programs, especially if your camper's only coming for a week, really strongly suggest sending or just dropping that item off. It ensures that it arrives, and it helps us when we have 20 million boxes in our post box to not have to worry about juggling through them and getting them sorted to the right person.
Yeah, if you can drop everything off at check-in, just put it in a bag and already have it labeled with your camper's name and what day you want it delivered. This can be mail, this can be packages. Just keep.
Yeah. And then I think a big question here, we've had someone who's come to camp before, but now they are recently struggling with being homesick. How do we handle homesickness this year, especially with the effects of the pandemic, making it so kids are away from home for the first time in quite some time?
Abel is right behind me. I'm going to let him share.
All right, good evening, everyone. Yeah, we continue to try our best to handle homesickness the way we've always done for years, encouraging the camper to get involved. But we always find that what does help is if you feel like this might be an issue ahead of time, that you do encourage your campers to make the best of it. If there's perhaps an activity that they've thought that they might want to participate in, we'll definitely make sure that happens, because that does help reduce some of the homesickness. We talk to them. If there's a camper who just has that magical gift of lifting up other campers, we have them chat with them and be close to them during activities. If it is one of those dire situations, we will definitely call you and say, hey, this is what we're dealing with. We have promised and said, if you make it through to the evening and you still feel like you want to speak to your parents, we'll make that happen. We will do that if we need to. But if right off the bat you say, they're going to call us if you're homesick. Sometimes the battle is just lost right from the beginning because they tell us, oh, my mom said you'd call, or my dad said you'd call, or my parents or caregivers said, just call if I'm homesick. So we try to work through it as best we possibly can. And if it is dire, of course, we get in touch with you for some ideas of how to help and guide the child to the best of their ability.
Hope that answered that question. It's just making sure the kids are each making friends and doing activities they love and looking forward to things. And there's been a few campers that have come for years that have experienced that, and they, within a couple of days, they're back in routine and happy to be here. So we'll work with campers on anything that might be making them uncomfortable because they've been so accustomed to being at home. Some of these questions, if you'd like to call the office and talk, I mean, we've not really, the packages at check-in, why can't we just pack snacks in their bag? They like getting surprises, you guys. We prefer that you did not send food and care packages with food, but to send glow sticks and markers and books and card games would be much better on our end because of the stickiness of the wrappers and you know, we're out in nature, and it could attract animals and ants and those sorts of things to where that packaging is left. So that's one of the reasons we prefer packages, just to have activities for kids and not food. And they enjoy getting something from you. So let's see.
Another question I saw come up related to swim checks, both adventurers and rangers. So both adventurers and, or not rangers, sorry, adventurers and ranch. Both of those villages will be taking the swim checks. We do those swim checks on Sunday, just after check-in. So it's the first thing we're able to get done and out of the way. Ranch campers will have an opportunity to swim. So yes, they will have a chance to get all the mess from the ranch off of them. They actually swim towards the end of the day. So that's even better. So almost like a late night lake shower for them. Our swim check this year consists of being able to still swim down and back just like usual, but the first time down, we are asking they swim down on their backs. So that is something a little bit different than we've done in prior years. That's just a little bit more of a competency assessment that we're able to check with those campers.
I see a question about fine during the day and then not so good at night and bedtime. Send a stuffed animal. That will help a little snuggly to have available, I think, to answer that question. We're going to ask not to send any technology, including a digital camera. Let's see, there are still some other cameras out there. We'll get as many pictures as we can up on Facebook. With our minimal staffing, that is a little more difficult this year. There will be group photos that will be posted within the first couple of days that the kids are here at camp. Oh, let's address our mattresses. So what really works best is to send a sheet to put over the mattress. And then it's really your choice if it's blankets or a sleeping bag. I've seen kids use everything. Some kids, if they're going to sleep in a sleeping bag, have them practice at home a little bit because it's very different. You have to pull the whole thing up with your legs when you're moving around. And I would also recommend having campers practice living out of their suitcase or their duffel bag or whatever you're packing things in for a couple of days before they come to camp as well. It's a new skill they learn, taking care of all their stuff that's in one big bag. Some of the lodges have shelves and cubbies, but others don't. I really defer my kids used to bring trunks to camp. So anything that can open up and they can see in and get their things out. Finding a lot of campers bring way too much stuff, and then that's more that they have to navigate as well. So less is better with sending things to camp. I've also seen some families just sending a lot of things that the kids really don't need. We keep them pretty busy, so they don't need to bring just like fishnets and things like that with them. We've got everything we need. Or frisbees. Yeah, we have what we need for the programming that we'll be doing with the kids. We are still, I'm seeing questions about activities that we can do. We do not have a trading post, and the trading post will not be open this summer. We have shirts for sale at check-in and check-out for $10. All of our youth campers are going to get a horseback ride. It will be developmental to their age. It might be a walk around on a horse, or it might be an arena lesson, or it might be a trail ride. But all youth campers will be experiencing that. And that's been a big, just something fun. So nobody's paying extra for that this year. Just trying to think of some of those other things. The blob we cannot use. Like I said, some of the things we would like to open, but with the minimal staffing we have, we just don't have enough people to do a couple of the extras. And we're hoping that things will open up, and by next summer, we're going to be back into full business, no masking, no testing, and just get back to all of the activities we've done in the past. Our lake in the very middle is 34 feet deep, but our children swim on Stony Lake right from the beach entrance. So it's a zero depth entrance. And the children that are not strong swimmers or non-swimmers, they stay in what's called the red section. And then children that are swim at a little bit higher level, they can go out to the yellow line. And then the kids that are strong swimmers have a different swim section they can go in as well. We're finding that kids are enjoying, we haven't had it open for years, just jumping off a high dive. The swimmers are challenging themselves to do that. And before, we've always had the blob there. And so the high dive is even a fun activity for the kids to do. I just was looking, did you see any other questions?
Oh, no. Yeah, there's no need for fishing poles because that's extra stuff to carry. They'll use our cheap, creative fishing poles that we have at camp, and they do the job. They do catch fish with them. Again, that's just extra stuff to carry.
One question I did see that I don't know if it got addressed or not, if there's an adult in each cabin to sleep. So yes, each of our cabins does have at least one adult who will be staying in it. Most of the cabins do just only have one adult, but we will have an adult staying in every cabin with our campers overnight.
Oh yeah, our ratios are really good with the campers. We're following accreditation ratios as far as adults to children. Okay, just looking for a few more. So I'm sorry if we've missed any of the questions in the chat. Really encourage you to call. We're trying to get to the phone calls. We're very busy while the campers are here too. So leave a message if you need a call back, or email us, and that's a really great way to communicate as well. Derek just put up the email address for us. We're really.
Sorry, did you talk about activities before
Yeah,
we got here?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Abimbola just wondered if you heard about all the fun stuff the kids are doing. Abimbola's one of his favorite things to do right now is take kids out on the pontoon boat and give them tours.
Tours of the south side and searching for raspberries and mulberries, which is why I was late, because we were doing one and I think we got a little bit into it. So yes, and some of the natural creatures that roam this place have just been a blessing for adding to the fun and science lessons that we don't plan for, like the sandhill cranes that are just walking so close to us, the frogs, the penny toads, the fish that we see when we're just staring at the lake, and taking some time to enjoy the stars. These things just kind of happen, and they're not scheduled, and they just all add to the joy and the blessing and the learning and the camaraderie with this experience. So that's all wonderful.
I will repeat again, the blob will not be open. The children are having fun jumping off of the high dive. And many have never done that. So that's almost as exciting as doing the blob. We hope to have that blob back and running next year. And there won't be any across the lake floats this summer either. All righty. Well, I think that we've done pretty good getting questions answered, and we appreciate all of your time joining us. And I will also say, if there's any family campers that are coming next week, if you would like to do your children's antigen testing on next Friday, I can set that up with you while you're here at camp. So I know a few of you will be here. Hope we've answered all your questions. This is a really incredible place, and the kids are just loving being here and getting a break and back. The nature is very restorative and fun for them to be out. We just keep our fingers crossed that there's more sunshine than rain in the coming up weeks. So thanks so much, and we will see you all in July and August.
Thank you.